TGIF, right? Happy Friday. The weirdest thing just happened to me. I'll tell you guys all about it in a moment, but I want to pull up the live here on Dee's phone. Here we go. Okay. So good morning. Welcome to the Daily Now. My name is Tara. I am your host. Today's going to be a fun one because number one, we're using brand new, like so brand new you can't even get them yet, Luxie Nail Halloween dips, which I believe are going to be releasing some point over this weekend. If not today, or I mean tonight, then tomorrow or Sunday, I think. That's my best guess. But we're going to use those. But another thing that's exciting is that we're going to scrub ombre. We're going to do both. We're going to tap ombre, but then we're going to scrub ombre as well, which I rarely do. This is probably the only mani I ever do it in. So, and we're going to chrome one now with a black mirror chrome. Morning, Tara's here. So the weirdest thing just happened. First off, I'm having a really hard time getting off my nails, especially the glitter nails. In fact, my pinky's still there. My other glitter nail is my index finger, and it was like super thick. It was almost like it wasn't like all the way activated or something, you know, like all the way through. And I took off the top of my tip when I ended up popping it off. I didn't even notice it at first, but I left it just to show you guys. So I'm working on my pinky nail now, but oh, I think I'm getting it. No, it's taking the whole nail, I think. Feels like it is. If I have to, I know I'm already going to replace one, so I don't get it. I filed on both sides. It's just like not coming. Here we go, back into the drill. I'm going to put it up to 11 in forward motion. I don't want to go too far in and distort the nail, you know. Yes, as you can see, I'm not quite prepped. Happy Friday. I'm stressing this now a little bit. All right, got it. Oh, it's hurting up at the top, though. Ouch. That hurt, trying to push it off. Wonder why. What's going on up here? The jelly tip's still on, but up here, I don't know what's going on up there. And it's like not breaking, it's like the whole piece here. Maybe I can go around with it. I think I might have to file the seal. Oh, just give me a hand file here. Duh. I don't even think that did anything. Well, it's coming a little more. This is crazy. I've never had it like this. Had this happen like this to me before. I don't know why it hurts so much at the top. Back to the e-file. Go in on the other side. If I can finish breaking the seal. My nail's probably going to be all wonky, and I'm probably going to have to replace it anyway at this point. I'm just like desperate to get it off. I didn't even want to have to do this one, but I don't trust myself to ombre and scrub ombre with my left hand. I'll be more comfortable doing it right-handed, you know? All right, what the hell? All right. That didn't hurt, but it came off whole piece. That's the only nail that came off whole. See how this nail looks now. Still have a little bit of dip at the edges. I think it's salvageable. I don't see anything. Looks like I only filed into the dip. Yeah, they were pretty thick. 4 layers. Shit's strong. Hey, Britt. How are you? Look, I was popping off my nails and popping off my dip, and it took part of my tip right there. I was gonna say, and your nails are getting long, Britt. Let's see if I can get this off without, if I can just pry it off. Yeah, so you guys are gonna have to sit through me replacing one now. Sorry. You are gonna have to file. Let me trim this length on it. Ooh. Fine, give me the drill. All right, let's see here. I really want to just try and catch it where it's lifting and just file it off from there. That would be ideal for me. How are you ladies today? Are you happy it's Friday? Friday and still gonna be in the 90s. Come on. After I file this down some, I'm gonna use my magic gel. Get that off. All right, that part's gone. So, Britt, what's new with you? I feel like we used to talk on the regular, you know what I mean? Like every day. And we haven't been, so I don't know what's going on with you. Got any plans for the weekend? All right. All right, there's not that much left. Whoops, instead of turning it off, I turned it up. Stay. I have this gel. I just bought this one off of Amazon. I'll tell you what the brand is in a second. I'll spell it. Aliver. Nail polish gel remover. And then it says quick remover for gel nail polish. But do you know what this stuff is if you've used it before? It's on the thick side. But it should not be so thick that it doesn't come out of the bottle. and you just put it on your gel polish or your jelly tip. You could even use it to like dissolve a whole tip, but you're gonna have to put it on multiple times. You know what I mean? That's why I always file it down. I might be able to get it all off in this one time. If not, it's only going to be because I didn't file the very tip of it that thin. It's kind of thick still there. I'm always right at the free edges where I have the hardest time getting it thin when I'm filing. So I had this all nice and clean, but now it's all messed up. So you guys, so we're gonna do a poison apple mani. You guys, I'm sure Tara, you know what I'm talking about for it. So it's just like it's an ombre mani, like a horizontal ombre, but it's red at the cuticles and then black at the tips. But Luxie Nail King is coming out with a black mirror chrome powder, so I want to use it in the dip, in the mani, I mean. So look at these colors. Like if you're into goth or you like gothic things or just dark and moody, these colors are stellar. How beautiful are those? So I'm going to use a gothic, which I think is going to be her new solid black, replacing what she currently has. I can't think of the name of it. And then I'm going to use Ox Blood. So these two today. Then there's also Dearly Departed, which is a super cool looking dip. It's black and white, and then it gives the illusion, or there must be gray in there too. I can't tell if it's just all black and white and gives the illusion of gray, or if there's gray too. Dark Doll, this one is my favorite. That one is a black base with like silver shimmer. I think it's silver shimmer, so it just looks like a really dark red. And then this is a black shimmer called Depths. So that's what she's got, are these 5 dips for Halloween. So I have so many ideas of other manis I want to do using these, you know what I mean? Because I think using this with the dark red, it would look awesome. Or dark red and black would look awesome. So I definitely want to do that too. So, and then all the fall colors, not to mention the fall colors, you know what I mean? Hey, Michelle. Oh, congratulations, Brett. What'd they name them? I think you told me the name, but I forgot. Hi, Michelle. I don't know if I said hi yet, but good morning. Happy Friday. You have a headache, Britt? Do you have anything you can take? I was just showing Luxie's Halloween collection, Michelle. Have you seen them yet? You were here, right? You saw them, I think. But we're going to use 2 today. I'm going to twin with Tara, and if anybody else wants to twin. Let me put the light up, I guess. This one is Dearly Departed, Gothic. That's a solid black. Then we got Dark Doll, Oxblood, and Depths. So they are gorgeous, but yeah, so we're gonna ombre and do this poison apple mani. So I'm going to tap ombre each nail, one at a time. And then once it sets for a little bit, but it's not completely dry, I'm going to scrub it. This is probably one of the only manis I do this on, but we are going to scrub ombre. So, I find that it helps really well with blending the colors. I'm going to put up a tray or something too because I don't want all this dust sitting here. So I'll just cover it up. um, some kind of scraper. This has been sitting for a couple minutes. Let's see. I have some magic gel remover. Michelle, when I was popping off my dip, it broke the tip of my jelly tip right off. And actually took it all. See, it just turns it into like a pile of mush. Mushy gel. Let's make sure I got it all. That's good. And so I only had to use it once. That's a good thing. I'm going to clean it with alcohol now. So are you going to see the baby this weekend then, Britt? Bennett Allen, that's right. 8.15 pound, 21 inches long. Nice size. Yeah. Are you going to go see the baby this weekend then? What do you other ladies have planned? There is still a little gel on this nail, actually. But it's like barely anything. I'm just going to leave it like that. Let's push back the cuticles. I just did this set too on Sunday. Well, it's Friday, so maybe it wasn't even Sunday then. Maybe it was a couple days ago. Monday, maybe, because of the holiday. I guess I'm just gonna quickly go over it with my e-file at the cuticle area. There's always stuff I can find around there. Right now, I'm just gonna use like this rounded, it's like a really small, almost barrel bit, you know. I don't know what this bit's called. Do you know, Tara? Just on there. I'm going to keep it really low. I only go at like 3 or 4. Right now it's just at 3. I'll put my hand up a little higher. You can see. That, yeah, there's some stuff that can be done up here, some work. Alright. I should have cleaned it after I did that, but I didn't know I was going to do it at the time. I think that's all I'm going to do. It looks alright. Alright, let me put some primer, some dehydrator on it. Let's see what everybody's saying. How far away do they live from you, Britt? Your brother? You can't see it? All right. Stay. Stay. Fingers crossed everything stays where I want it to. All right. Oh, hold on. I got a Temu order. Look at this cup, you guys. I got it for like $4.15. It's stainless steel. Was it BPC or something like that, or BPA free? You can put a straw in it, or you can take the straw out and turn this thing, and it has a bigger thing. Like if you wanted to just sit, like gulp it, you know what I mean? It's huge, and they have them in all different colors. Now, the reason I got it for that price, that wasn't the regular price, but I have the app, and every day they send me like deals. So it was like you spin a wheel, and it was like 90% off or something. I think the regular price though was like $11 or $13, but I got it for like $4 and change, and it's really nice. Everything out in the kitchen. Hold on. Let me just get it because I want to show you guys it. I was so tired yesterday, I didn't even take my mail out. And I also got some stickers, some Halloween stickers. And I got these. I won't be using them this year, but they're seashell and ocean themed, and it came with a cuticle pusher and a pair of tweezers. But look at the brush. This is like super soft, like almost like a rubber coating, but it's not like bendable or flexible. It's kind of like wavy, like a rose bush, you know, and then it's like that. So we'll try it out today, see how it works, because my new Crival brush has a white top, and I know this man, he's gonna get the brush dirty, so let's use this one. It's got dark bristles underneath. I'm gonna put these in my sticker drawer. Tara, don't look. I don't even know if I can open it. All right. Half an hour. Okay. Okay, good. So these are the colors. Like I said, we're going to use Gothic and Oxblood. And Tara, what nail do you think we should use the Black Mirror Chrome on? Middle or pinky? Those are the two I was thinking. I think ring is like too traditional. Or yeah, because we're gonna do one nail. Or should I save the black chrome? We just do every nail the same. What do you think, Tara? All right, let me get to going on placing this tip here. But let me know what you think. Hi, Patty. I think I said hi to you already, but I'll say it again. Patty's actually working today. She's feeling better, so that's good, right? Primer. This is the sticky kind of primer used with gel products. And I'm putting it on because I'm putting on a gel nail tip. So I'm just going to let it sit for a minute or so. Let's pull up a tray. Where is my double dipped tray? Let me see it. I swear it was on this table. All right, I don't see it at the moment. It's around somewhere though. Maybe I put it up back. Weird. You know what? I was sent these cuticle cleanup tools from, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, Hypnotic Nails. All right, I think middle too. That was what I wanted. Get the deepest red. Do you have Royster from Revel? That's a good one. I did it with Royster last year. Or a dark red, you know. You don't have to even use a dark red. Hell, you could go with a cherry red. Let me see one of these tools while I'm waiting. I had such a hard time getting those glitter nails off, you guys. That's why I lost part of my tip. And then my other glitter nail, which was my pinky, was super hard to get off too. I eventually got it though, but I was afraid I was going to lose that tip as well. All right. I'm going to use this little flashlight again today. And I'm going to use Emily's base coat to put this nail on. So let's put some base in here. So I kind of like spread it out in a thin layer and then like maybe add like a drop more. Usually works out okay. If it's a little extra, we can clean it up. It's not a big deal. So I am going to put it on. Put it in my mouth. Alright, I just wanted to make sure it was straight. It is. There is a little extra gel that seeped out, so I'm going to clean that up. And then I'll put it in my lamp and finish curing it. That flashlight was under $2 on Temu. It takes batteries, like 2 AA batteries or 2 AAA batteries or something, but that was worth it. It's a little awkward holding it in my mouth, but still, I can do it on my own, you know what I mean? Oh my God, Michelle. That's my fault. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, Gothic and Oxblood, Brandis. Did you see the message in Dip Goddesses? And then we're going to use the Black Mirror Chrome on our middle finger. Michelle, I meant to reach out to you, and same thing. Dominic was home yesterday, and I got sidetracked, and then, of course, went to bed at like before 6 o'clock last night. I am so sorry, but I've been thinking about you, and I feel like a real jerk. So tell us, what's like, is he taking up more space than like you're comfortable with? Is it his behavior? What is it that is like not making you feel comfortable? So we're gonna do like the poisoned apple Manny, right? So the ombre. with Oxblood and Gothic, and then middle nail Black Mirror Chrome. But my tip broke off, snapped, and half of it came off with the dip. So I had to replace the whole tip. By the way, Dominic's home again today. He's got colds as symptoms, no fever, but he's got a sore throat, no headache or anything. I have like the same feeling going on, but I don't think, I mean, it doesn't, I've never had COVID, but, and neither has Dominic. But Fran told me what symptoms to watch out for and stuff, so I think so far we're okay. But Dominic's getting a test today, and then if it's negative, I'll feel a lot better. Oh, I still have dip over here. All right, there we go. Just want to clean up my shape real quick. Yeah, please know it's not that we're not here for you or anything, you know. And I especially feel bad because I said I was going to message you after the live, and then I totally just, I mean, that's not really even an excuse, you know. So I'm sorry. I hope you'll forgive me. And now tell us, spill the tea. All right, let's put a top coat on this. I'm just going to use base and top coat since it's right here. Do you want to do this with us, Brandis? Obviously, Tara won't be using Luxie dips, but I mean, it's red and black, so you can, anybody can do it, you know? Michelle, I'm sure your Manny planned already, but Patty, any of you want to do it? Britt, you were so sweet in your message. This one, and yeah, I'm such a space cadet too, Michelle. I responded to your question, but then again, didn't even think. Yeah, I'm out of it. That makes it even worse. All right, let's put peel base on. Do any of you guys have plans this weekend to do anything fun? Is it hot everywhere? Or I know we're supposed to be getting like thunderstorms and like there's all these flood warnings and stuff. It says it's going to break the heat. I think that's starting late tonight. The rain is going to start. Oh, I only put base on this now, not top coat. Shoot. until it's like sticky. Did you talk to Jen yet, Brandis? I haven't. I commented on like her most recent post. All right, let me cure that. Okay, I understand, Michelle. Oh, the team thing? Are you doing the one with Tara and Janet? That one? Is Mallory here? She's not here right now, right? Oh, she did? Okay, do you know when the release is? Did she say? Is it going to be tonight? Okay. Okay. We'll see if she puts anything out today. I was surprised she said we could start teasing as soon as we got them because that's a little different. But I think that's what she did the last release, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe she just decided, I don't know, the more hype, the better. Oh my god, I have more dip on my finger here than I missed. I gotta try and get it off. I don't want it to tip over. At least we're doing super dark colors. That doesn't want to come off. Pain in my butt. Oh, I should put the TV on. I know Dominic definitely did something with the remote. I was totally going to use that tray. Let me see where my remote is. 1 second. Yay. Dominic. Where's the remote? Forget it, I found it. It was buried under the clothes he was supposed to wear to school today. Which means I probably put him there. Let's see what's happening. Buster Murdoch speaks out. All right. Reporting live from my sofa, this guy Paul. I play him a lot in the background sometimes.
Brother, and he finally shares what he thinks happened that tragic night, and we're going to talk about it in today's video.
This is the only part that's loud in the intro. All right, so our middle nail, I'm going to just do the whole thing in black. And then since we're chroming over it, the other 4 nails will be red with black tips, tap ombre, and then before it fully dries, we'll scrub it a little bit. That's like you have to hit it at like the right time too, because you can mess up your dip if you do it too soon. And if you do it too late, well, I think if you do it too late, it's not even going to matter with colors like this because they're so dark and so pigmented that I think that you can still get the ombre. So Gothic, which is replacing the black in the shop. This is going to be her new solid black. I'm going to pour it out because I'm going to dip the middle nail fully in it. Still going to leave on my peel base to dry. Oh, there she is.
I'm just a guy with a pretense of a real dog and some opinions on true crime. So make sure to look over the stuff that we talk about yourself and come to your own conclusion.
No, but everybody's got their boxes. But Heather hasn't said an official date, and she hasn't posted anything yet in the group or anywhere, or tagged us in anything. So I don't know what the official release is going to be yet. But I'm imagining it's going to be some, if not tonight, then at some point this weekend, you know.
At the hands of Alec Murdoch, who is now in jail, serving life sentences for taking the life of his son Paul and his wife Maggie. Now, in the center of other crimes, accidents, that type of thing. And what kicked this whole case off is his son Paul was in a boat accident, essentially caused a boat accident by driving drunk and killed one of his friends.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I can message her after and ask her.
I'm talking extreme financial
live.
Alec Murdoch. Well, then during all
right,
this,
I think.
Paul and Maggie, his mother,
Wow.
Alec's late wife, end up getting
only my
murdered
pinky is dry.
Well, then,
So we gotta wait another minute or two. So this is about Buster Murdoch speaking out. It's this guy reporting live. YouTube channel name.
Orchestrated a pretend assassination.
So he pretty much plays like clips of like things, and then he'll give his thoughts and opinions on them. You know, he's just a regular guy, regular person like us. You know, he doesn't have any. He's not a doctor or a criminal attorney or anything like that. He's just a guy with his dog and a sofa.
To Alec Murdoch. He's lost his mother. He's lost
I know a lot of us were fascinated with this case.
He's locked away for the rest of his life. So we have been waiting on pins and needles to hear really what Buster had to say. And so they started dropping hints.
I'm wearing black and red too today. Manny.
I was running over to sign up for this, right? And so I actually watched it several times. And I'm going to say this, as we go through this, I'm going to be talking about what I think about some of his body language. And again, just like I said, I'm not a body language expert, so this is just, my commentary on it. I don't have any kind of, credentials to give a certified opinion on it, right?
Hi, Janet.
Because I did notice some things, and one of the many times that I watched it during the editing process.
That's not what she told me, though.
Look at reviewing
she
them.
might
review those and kind of talk about that
because
some of his body language, lack of body language.
She might.
He's saying now again. I
but
went back and forth
as far as I know, she wasn't planning
the video because watching this and finally hearing him talk, I was like, okay,
Jen got her box, so now we all have them.
Well, maybe I thought this before, but now I don't think that now. And now I have questions about this over here. I still left this docuseries.
All right, see if I'm trying now.
Questions, and not just about Buster, but about several things with the case.
Brandis, did you swatch the
I'm not gonna
dips?
speak to the other parts.
Yeah, okay.
Alec did some recordings over the phone of his diary.
I have my Luxie precision tool.
Overall, I will tell you, this is very surface level. Like for me, I was like, there ain't nothing new here, other than hearing Buster finally speak, right? But the rest
so these
of it,
lavender violets brushes are kind of on the thin
level,
side.
that type thing. But if you're interested,
I mean, they do spread out, when you push the brush down.
Let's go ahead and start watching that.
It's not as big as some of the other brushes I've used.
On a day without migraine, my body feels free.
Discover migraine prevention delivered differently through an IV infusion with Vyepti, a preventive treatment for migraine in adults.
Ooh, you
Vyepti is a
listen to this
30-minute
commercial,
infusion
Brandis?
taken 4 times a year. It
An
can help reduce
infusion
monthly
4
migraine
times a
headaches.
year
Don't
for
take if you're allergic to
migraines.
Vyepti. Common side effects are allergic reactions, stuffy nose, and scratchy throat. Allergic reactions include rash, swelling, trouble breathing, hives, and redness of the face. Talk to your doctor about
Oh, and
Vyepti.
death is not a
Learn
side
what you can
effect.
save.
At HomeSense, what you pay is as exciting as what you bring home.
Oh my god, there's like this little bug
Say
flying around me. I
hello to
gotta
your
get it.
next great escape, where eye-catching pieces are here, there, and everywhere.
It's because of the light.
It's different every time you
The
go.
lighting
And
over
no matter
here.
what you land on,
I have guinea
the
pigs, and
savings
I
are
swear, like,
so go big.
they
go
just
bold. HomeSense. Standout
Attract.
pieces, outstanding prices.
bug sometimes. We keep up with the cages too, but it's just like, I don't know, they like them.
Was in that position because we were, raised to where we didn't really I didn't get into a lot of trouble, so I mean, that wasn't really a thing for me. But there's been an awful lot of
Tip
things
number
written about an
2
awful lot
here.
of my family members get us
There's like
completely inflamed in the media.
hardly any
There's no escape
staining
from any
from
of
that
it.
one
Okay,
dip.
now
I
I wanted
don't
to start off
think
with this
there's
clip,
any.
and this is in reference
Let's see.
to, you saw the little headlines there about corruption and, the family and, the good old voices and that type of stuff. A couple of things here. So first of all, this sets the tone for the way Buster views the media and whatnot. Secondly, you heard him say about like, oh, we weren't raised like we weren't in trouble, and he says, I wasn't. Okay, so one thing that we learned, or at least for me during this, and again, I don't even know this family before this, is watching this, it did seem like Paul was more of kind of like the wild child, if you will, and kind of going out, more of like a roughhouse kind of boy. And so reading between the lines and some things and hearing Buster kind of catch himself, like, well, I wasn't, I was like, huh, okay, now does this mean anything? No, it was just an interesting little tidbit, right? So let's go ahead on to the next clip.
One of the main reasons I wanted to do this is because there's been an awful lot of negative publicity talking about, my family and also about myself. And I just want to be able to give a truer perspective and let people understand
you
that
work
some of
with
the
a
things that are out there
migraine?
might not be
So wait,
exactly the truth.
Brandis,
Okay, so
you
here we
have
his motivation for
you
this, right?
use.
So he wants to set the record straight, that type of thing.
Has
Now,
it
One
helped?
thing I want to go ahead and say, be looking through the lens of it, I want your opinion on this. He seems right off
Ask
the bat
her for
way
yours,
more
Zach.
poised,
That's what
way
I
more
take.
together than his own father. Now, mind you,
Are you telling me you've used 6 or 7 of the new colors already?
Like,
Holy crap.
Right? So, I mean,
Good
come
for
on.
you.
There's that within that. But Buster just seems more.
I wanted to do a
don't know,
Manny last
spoken,
night, but
that
I
type of
was
thing. And on that
so
note,
tired.
It almost seems like
This new
he's had
schedule,
some, like,
getting up
media
early
training
again,
and that type of thing. He just
With
seems
Dominic getting up
very,
at 5
like,
a.m.
in control of everything.
I
His
was
tone of voice, his facial,
just
stuff,
wasted.
his
I don't know.
movements,
I
that
was
type of thing. Now,
exhausted,
this
and
could
I
just be
went
how
to bed
he
really
is,
early
right?
last
I
night.
don't know. I don't know the guy. And
I
I'm
didn't
not
even
saying
eat dinner.
that
I
any
didn't
other
even
reason
change.
that
I
just
slept in a
can't
skirt,
take him, because remember,
a skirt
he's
and
gone
a
through
top.
something. Whether you think he had something to do with the dude, with Stephen Smith, or this, that, or the other, at the end of the day,
That's
he lost his
awesome.
mother, he lost his brother, and technically his father, and he
All right.
went through this whole ordeal,
So
right? It
let's
would
put
probably
out
behoove
our
him to
red.
get into the public light and speak out and say whatever he has to say, but to be as put together as possible, non-emotional. I'm getting facts across. Boom, 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 boom.
Such a
that
gorgeous
type of
shade.
thing. So just keep that in mind.
I think I'm gonna take out a third ombre brush too, to blend the colors.
Out, and we see maybe more of the hurt.
All right, let's do
But
this.
we'll get to that. So let's go on and roll the tape.
My mom and dad met in college. So my dad played football at USC. He had gotten
So
injured, so he
I'm
was no
gonna
longer on the
do
team.
my
And he had asked her to
usual
get to
here,
the
a
football
full
game.
layer
And he called
dip
her that day, like,
base
"Sydney, I'll
on
come
the
pick you up." She
nail.
said, no, like, I'm not feeling good
And I'm
or
gonna
something
start
like that.
with
And
the
then he goes to the
red
game,
up
and
the
he sees her about
cuticle.
4 rows down with another guy. So I don't know what transpired after that, but somehow from there they've been together and happy.
Now, I thought that this was just like a nice little touch to put in there, a little story time behind that. Now, I'm also thinking, like, imagine if you were going to college and a dude asks you out and you don't know who he is, right? And it turns out that it's like,
I quickly move over to the red. I'm trying to do this pretty much right where my natural free edge is,
That's what happened in
I mean,
did she not
where
know
my
it was them? Was she
fingernail
like, you know,
ends
harassing her? Or
naturally.
maybe she
That's
just
what I
at
meant
first
to
was like,
say.
look, dude, you gotta work a little harder than just offering your last name up here. You know what I'm saying? She could have known who it was, and that was the reason why she didn't want to go out with him at first. And you
I went a little high
But
there.
I just thought
That's
it was
okay.
interesting. I thought it was also
So
interesting
now,
to take
while I'm
this picture,
waiting,
because one
this is
thing
only
that
the first
I did
layer
think about
anyway,
here
so we're not
watching
going to
this
scrub
was,
right
keep in
now.
mind, as we
At least
do
I'm
this,
not
there was a
going
time
to.
where, you know, Buster and Paul, they were children, obviously, you know, but small kids. And the way you view your parents when you're that age, now, especially for them, because they grew up in
All
this
right, let's just keep
extreme
moving.
privilege, extreme wealth, power, this
Next.
type of stuff, but to them, that was like normal, right? Like, they didn't know any different than that. So, hearing Buster talk about these stories is helping me to try and pinpoint and connect the dots on how he's steadfastly like, I think my father is innocent. That
Oh, how
thing
can you
is what
think
I'm
he's
getting at.
innocent?
So let's continue.
Gloria to us was a maid. Doesn't really encapsulate it because she was hired when we were very young. Took us places if mom and dad were out of town. Really, she helped raise Paul and I from when we were little kids. She was a big player inside of our family.
Now, of course, Gloria is the woman who, as we heard here, he described her more than a maid, part of the family, who died in the house when she. We really don't know what happened. She took a spill somehow, and this is one of the cases that Alec would rip her children off with the settlement that came through. So again, I wanted to just put this in here because there's all these questions about Gloria and what exactly happened because you don't really know at this point.
Okay.
Because now Alec says that
So
he
we got
lied
those
about the
two.
dog tripping her.
Let's
So
move on.
there's that. But to hear him,
Seriously, this
Buster
coverage
speak
is
up,
so
she
good.
was, a big player in our family. She was always there. She was, the person who was.
How
so
good
when
that
Mom and
black
Dad were
is,
gone.
too.
Yeah, I mean, this was an
That's
integral
two
part of
dips,
the family,
mate. Wow,
which
it's good.
makes the sting of what Alec did to her children.
And don't
that
worry
much
if your
worse, in
ombre
my
is
opinion.
not perfect right
So,
here.
what was the
Mine
family
certainly
dynamic
is
in terms
not.
of you and your mom, Paul and your dad.
'Cause this
Who
is
do you
just
think
the
was
first
closer
layer,
or
you
more
know?
alike?
Growing up, my parents held a very firm line that they were not going to pick favorites. There were times when, I considered myself closer to my mom. I mean,
Okay.
everything that I ever needed, she was there for me. She, advised
do the
me.
black
She
and
loved
tip
me. I
part.
can't put enough emphasis on how important she was to me. And I think that my brother probably was a little bit closer to my dad.
Now, the one thing I thought was interesting about this, and again, this is more like
It's like I don't even
superficial
really
type
have any
observation,
cuticle cleanup
is
to
Buster
do.
looked so much like his father, and Paul looked so much like his mother. And so to hear where it's like kind of the reversals of, well, I was more close to mom and he was more close to dad. Him and dad were more like buddies, and I don't know if I put that clip in here, but he does describe how they were more like friends. And
I'm gonna
whatnot.
brush
Now, one dynamic
these
that I think
off.
in the family is that Buster was probably going to be more like the groomed person up. You're going to follow dad's footsteps, or that's what they were hoping for and whatnot. And Paul was able
Yeah,
to
we'll
probably
need a
look
second
little
dip,
bit
but,
more carefree and kind of
I already love it.
And he sounds more like an outdoors guy, which Buster will speak of. But I thought that dynamic was interesting.
Oh, I missed some. I
and
missed some
also
comments. Hold on.
in that we see who is still alive.
Oh, okay.
Odor is unavoidable.
Yeah, the one without the shimmer. We're doing solid. I can't. Is it a hollow shimmer depth?
This thing, it's making you get an ice bath again.
Oh, see, I just thought it was a regular shimmer. I haven't taken it out into sunlight or anything. That's awesome.
I'm an investor.
Yeah, so we're using Gothic
A fund that gives me access to
and
NASDAQ
Oxblood.
100 innovations like wearable training optimization tech.
How long?
I'm done.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ.
I'm okay.
Before investing, carefully reading, consider.
Do you want to do it, Brandis? And then the middle now we're chroming with the mirror chrome.
All connected with.
Oh, you talked to her? Okay.
Managing the property.
Sunday. All right.
Planting the food plots, planting the dove fields.
And that's what I'm speaking of. Is he was the outdoors guy. He liked this property, and we learned
7
this
p.m.
That was kind of his thing. He enjoyed doing that. And the Snapchats we saw.
Or is she gonna release earlier?
I mean, he's out riding the property with his dad and doing all that. Which goes. For me, at least, when you look at the two avenues of this case, because essentially there's still two arguments of people who think Alec is guilty and people who think that he's not, right? And so when you look at it like, well, how could this guy
Here
be
we go
take the
again.
life of his son? He was just riding around and it sounded so normal. It sounded so this. And we'll get more to my thoughts and opinions on how I think this went down and why I think it went down and to his guilt or not. And what and whatnot. So just know that, keep that in the back burner going. But let's go on to the next clip.
Just want to ask you a little bit about the Gloria Satterfield
Yeah.
situation. Who was in the house when her accident happened?
I don't know who was in the house. I know that my mom and brother were there together, and to think that it was somebody who was so close to us is heartbreaking.
Now, I wanted to take this clip and use this opportunity to speak on this that I found throughout watching this.
Okay.
So when we hear her ask the question of that, and Buster kind of gives this answer of, well, Mom and Paul were there, and again, they'll get into like, why'd your dad lie, and that type of thing. And then he's like, think of it as somebody so close to us, you can tell the way they edited it, there's not everything being put out there. A lot of his answers are very superficial like this.
Now,
Right?
going back through, I'm going to start with the blackest tip.
Some of the answers that I would hear.
I'm going to hold the brush really close to the nail so I have a lot of control over where the black goes, because I do not want it going up too high.
You can ask this, you can ask this, you can ask this, you can ask this.
Like I said, I want this to be like at the natural tip. So,
I would do the same thing, right? Because you got to remember this with something like this. His dad's probably going to appeal this stuff.
and I'm also planning to scrub if I need to, right? To help the ombre to look a little better.
Right? So there's no way, unless Buster just was completely over his dad, that he would get out here and be like, well, yeah, he is a liar. I don't know why. I think he did. I think he's the one who took,
black at the tip.
Her life, Gloria's life. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not going to do that. But because of those dynamics, I think that's why we see a lot of these answers that are just like, really? Like, can we dig a little deeper, maybe?
Tell me about where you were living. What were you doing in the weeks
We'll have a
leading
little
up to
extra
June
time to
7th,
work, right?
2021?
Since our second
June
layer.
7th, I was up in Charlotte. I was about to start this new job. I was running around. I was supposed to hold this hiring event for one of the restaurants right outside of Charlotte. Got conversated on the phone with my family that day. Both my dad and my mom, and maybe even my brother. I would just describe it as normal.
Now, I found this part interesting to kind of hear what he was doing. He's over in Charlotte. He's not in town. And I talked to, the family on the phone. This normalcy he speaks of, and like everything was going fine, contributes to my thoughts.
I'm going to grab a different brush here.
On
But maybe I'll put a little red on it.
That day from Alec, the desperation that came up.
So, scrub.
Was Buster spared because he simply wasn't
Ombre
there,
is literally what it
had to carry the name. Someone had
means.
to
You scrub the nail. However, here we go. It's gone a little. Maybe I
Every
will.
day is a new opportunity. Seize the moment. Set the table that brings you together. Get the suit that lands the job. And give the ring that changes everything. JC
I'm just going to use my black brush. That's much easier.
So, was it hard for you to watch your Aunt Marion up there?
Yes, it was.
Now give me my red
Well, for
brush.
one, because I know that she was absolutely terrified. I know that she did not want to be up there. I love my Aunt Marion no matter what, ever happens.
Now, you saw him hugging her and the little clip
All
there.
right. I'm
And if you watch,
pretty happy, I
he's
think.
100% right. She didn't want to be up there. This was very
To me.
traumatic for her. I mean, for God's sakes, her sister
Yeah,
brutally
this
murdered,
one.
and her nephew, right? And to be up there looking at Alec, your brother-in-law, former, whatever you want to call him at this point, and to hear her piece her story together during the trial, where she's come to this realization of what else can you say? Like, the evidence is pointing to this guy right in front of me, but also where she carries the weight of, she was suggesting to her sister to go meet Alec there on the property. And the guilt that she carried, which I feel so bad for you.
Oh, it's like goes up a little bit on my pinky, the black. I don't know if I can live with that.
And it was the right thing to do for her to go there.
Nah,
to
it'll
there
be
for
fine.
Alec
It's not
under the
bad from a
pretense of what
distance.
he was saying.
All right, let's ombre
Obviously,
the
we
next
know
nail.
differently now, and of course,
Starting,
hindsight
like I
is
said,
always
with the
20/20,
black.
But my heart ached for her.
Finishing
seeing her having
with the
so
red.
much issues with that. And I'm
So
sure that
gothic
haunts her.
is what
And I
we're gonna
really
start
hope that
with.
she's able to make her way through that. But I also thought it was nice to hear Buster
So these
say,
colors
he
are
loves
releasing
this man,
on
no matter what,
Sunday.
like, look, that's my aunt.
Did you
I
guys
love
say
her,
the time?
because that's how that should be. And even if he might disagree,
Evening.
like,
It's
if
on
she's
our group
thinking,
chat. Okay.
Alec
Okay.
killed my
Okay.
sister.
All
I
right,
know
I'll go
that
and
our
look after
relationships
the
and things were
live.
destroyed by his actions.
When
Meaning
did she
the
send it?
actions
Just
that,
this morning?
Alec took that evening.
Tell me about the phone call.
The phone call was there was a tone that I was not familiar with coming out of his voice. He requested or asked if I was sitting down, and then he told me that he had returned to Moselle and that he, rode down to the kennels and that he had found my mom and brother shot and killed. My whole body went into a sense of shock. I can remember basically
I can see
sitting
it's
on the
still
foot of the
wet,
bed,
but I feel like
salt
that's
feeling
too
in my
wet.
arms. Obviously, your first question is, what happened? And then you just, I don't know, my body almost kind of quit working. But finally kind of got some composure together. My girlfriend Brooklyn had packed my bag up for me. We got in the car and we started driving down.
I absolutely cannot imagine what that phone call had to have been like. Getting a phone call from your father that he just showed up to your house, whatever, and your mother and brother are dead. I mean, can you imagine? And the reaction he describes
looks pretty
very
good.
real. Your body goes numb. You're in shock, right? I mean, complete shock. And so to me, hearing him
I
describe
just coughed up
feelings,
now
was
when
something
I
that I hadn't heard him speak of before, and I'm just like, oh my god, it was like another maybe making him more human, if that makes sense, relatable, that type of thing.
Index
I'm like,
finger.
oh my god, I can only imagine. Like, and then that drive that they had to make home to be like, what are we getting into? Like, what are we walking into? Not knowing at all what was about to unfold.
Again, I'm focusing the black
I was upset.
at the
I was
natural.
angry. I was disappointed. I mean, it's
free edge
very, very, very difficult to try to wrap my head around all these circumstances.
Now he's speaking on like the unraveling of these lies of the situations that would come to be and whatnot. And this is what I'm talking about. These are very political answers. These are very rehearsed, in my opinion. I'm being very mindful of what I'm saying. And again, I get it. I'm not faulting him for that, simply because all the legal issues they have going on right now, I mean, he comes from a legal family, right? They're not going to say anything worse than like his father admitted to on the stand, you know what I mean? And so to sit here and get in any kind of accusatory manner, anything like that could mess up an appeal or this, that, or the other, or even his relationship with his father, because one dynamic of this that's the thing is, I'm like, his dad's all he has left, right? What do? You have to make this decision of, do I think whoever in this case his dad did this? And if I do, then how does that change the relationship? Where do you go from here? My dad saying he didn't do it. All these different dynamics, very similar.
Oh, so like at 11:36 this morning, or last night?
Different dynamics of his family members when all that went down, as to who he thought he took Kathleen's life, and so on and so forth. Now, remember earlier where I spoke of Alec did these recordings of some of his diary entries and whatnot. Let's take a minute and listen to a few of those, and then we'll talk about those.
I just did Wednesday, January 25th at 10:45 a.m. The real trial starts today.
Odor is hard. Eliminating it is easy with OxyClean odor blasters.
Groceries coming. Cannot wait to see Brooklyn, Barbara, Living, and everyone else. They told me no physical contact was looking forward to learning this.
So I'm gonna go sideways and brush across.
I'm ready. Cross, flat line. Jim is crossing tomorrow. He has the whole night to plan. I want to see him get aggressive with him, although that's not really his style. It's hard to watch someone else cross-examine a witness. You can't do it. I trust them completely. They told me that they're showing crime scene photos and body cam videos. I haven't seen.
I'm going in with the black brush here now.
I don't need to. I remember so vividly. I am more certain than ever. The Maggie inside. Before you get lost.
That's good.
What a long day. No man would have to see what I found. What you left that to relive it a second time. Can't get the images out of my head. I'm sure the hardest part is yet to come. I'm so ready for this to be over. But obviously I'm very nervous.
Just rubbing these with black right now. I'm actually pick up a little bit of black pigment.
Speaking on my behalf this morning. Number one, it would be too hard on them. Number two, it would be an absolute and complete waste of time.
There we go. It's looking good.
That's his mind made up.
Now, when I was listening to these, really my
just work on my pinky for one more minute.
Kind of like generic, almost like they were written in the context of wanting somebody else to hear them. You know what I mean? The way that they were done. Now, again, who knows if he did that or not, right? It's just my opinion. But there's really nothing here that was like, wow.
There we go.
Like, these are all kind of generic feelings that I would expect to hear from someone on this. You know, like the whole thing of, I trust him completely. I mean, okay, now the stuff about
all right, I think they look okay.
See them and all that, you know. Nothing about missing Paul or Maggie. Nothing about
not perfect, but they're pretty good.
Granted, these are just little excerpts,
so let's
right?
put away the
She could have
dips.
not put that in there. We don't know, right?
Gorgeous
no anguish.
dips.
And that was one thing that I felt was lacking during all of this, was that connection.
I think
that
she's
human
like
connection
right on
again,
the money going for the
and
gothic
not,
vibe.
you know,
For
especially
these,
with
I
Alec,
think like
things
it's
just
right
feeling
on
very
trend
showmanship, if you
too.
will, all the way down to these, you know, things here. So, anyways, that was that. That was all we're going to review those. Let's go on to the next thing.
When you listen to the prosecution, they built the argument that killing Paul and Maggie would buy him even more time. It would turn sympathy on him at a moment when.
Oh, okay. So it just happened while I was live.
come down.
Okay,
What do you
good.
think about that?
I was thinking.
So I wasn't like sitting there for days and we all missed it or something.
How bad everything had gotten for him. But
Okay, so this is what they look like. Let me put the light up a little bit so you guys can see.
Out of whatever storm he concocted was to kill my mother and brother.
Do they look okay so far?
Now we're getting into some of the
Gonna
more in-depth stuff. We'll
encapsulate
start
now
using
with
this
a
to
layer
talk
of
about the actual,
clear.
you know, guilt, not guilt, that type thing. So here's the thing. With what he's saying,
Hopefully no
and
glitters get
I
on
agree
them.
and disagree with him on this, right? Now, again, I don't know them, I don't know their family, right? So he's going to know better. However, his dad kept a massive secret life from everyone, right? And I think everyone got a different version of Alec. So
Well,
when he's
let
saying,
us know,
I
Brandis,
don't
if
think
you
that, know,
can
and
do it. And
have
if
no
you
idea
do,
about it,
DM me
yeah,
your
get the
pictures and
answers
DM them to
everything
Tara
was.
too.
I'll tell you,
Because I like to
Paul's
post
I don't
early
think Alec was pre-plotting that
in the
either,
morning if
right?
possible.
I don't think it went that deep. I think this level of desperation escalated that day into a boiling point, right? I think it was not a last minute decision, but like okay, and maybe something could have even triggered it in that evening. But I don't think that it was as pre-plotted for. I was planning this.
Yeah, this
I
morning,
think
like I was
desperation that did have
thinking
some
about the
planning to
Luxie
it.
colors,
He
and I was like,
obviously
oh my
did
god.
some stuff
Tara
to
asked me
clean
what
up
I
that
was
type
doing
of thing
today
to
for
cover the
Manny, and I was
trend, right?
like,
So it wasn't just a
I
spur
don't
of the
know, I
moment
want to
thing,
do another
but I also
Luxie
don't think it was a
Manny,
built
and
into plan with lots of
so then I was
premeditation
thinking
to
about
it.
the
I think
colors,
it
and
was
I'm like,
just a
oh my
little bit of
god,
premeditation
yeah,
and a
poison apple
desperate
Manny
moment,
would be
because
like
again, when you look at
perfect
the
with this red
timeline
and
of the
black.
world closing and the
So
financial
I asked
stuff,
her, I'm
right?
like, want to do
And
that
all
with
of
me?
that going that day even, and then him
So
going
she's
out,
like
I'm
working on like
miraculously
4
now,
sets
someone
today.
has come by and
So hopefully
filled
she
that
gets it
all
done.
right. How
I think
convenient
she
type
will
thing.
though.
And again, for
She
me, I'm
usually
just like,
does.
if you've been around desperation like that, if you've seen that where someone has not
Okay,
ever had to
Tara,
answer
I
to
will.
someone
I
else,
mean, I gotta
and
do
now they're
pictures,
having
but
to, this is a big having to answer.
send you an
This is a
unedited picture,
massive family
as long as
name,
you promise not
tons
to
of money on
repost
the
it.
line. You name it. I mean, he was doing major bad stuff, and he was getting caught, and he knew it. And so that is the desperation that I think pushed him to do the desperate, tragic acts that he did.
Say
So Michelle,
do
do you guys have
There's
plans
a lot
this
of
weekend?
pressure on a
How's the weather supposed to be
come
up
up
there?
with
Is it
a
still really
suspect.
bad
You
with the
said that you
fires?
thought they rushed to judgment because the person who found the bodies.
And
was
how
the
about you,
easiest
Mallory?
person
Is
to
how's the
charge.
air
Why would
quality
they
in
wanna do that to your dad?
Wisconsin?
I think it's one of those things where you have to do something. And I think that it was, and that's the option and the route that they decided to go with. My biggest thing that I want people to realize that there are always two sides of the story. Now they can pick which one they want to believe, but I think there's a heck of a lot that still needs to be answered about what happened on June the 7th.
Now, I will agree with Buster here. We see this time and time again in cases where there's a very quick, like, oh, okay, this person did it. That's the story we're going with. It makes sense. Let's go. And then after the fact, it's, oh, well, wait a second, hold up. There's usually glaring evidence in those type cases that along the way you're like, well, wait a minute. Everything kept coming back to Alec in this motive, the moments. Him lying, and remember one of the jurors even said that once the whole Snapchat kennel video came out where he was there moments before they were killed, and he lied about it. I mean, she was like, it sealed the deal. I mean, what do you say to that, right? I mean, that's the thing. This evidence, as was presented, was very hard to get out of that. Now, again, on this note, there's also
Is Michelle here? Did she leave?
That made it, the cookie crumbled in such a way that there was a lot of questionable things. It was like, well, hold on, well,
I don't think
did he
she's
do
here
this?
anymore.
How did he do that? How did he go here so quick? Things like that. So
I hope
but
she's
at the
not
end of the
mad
day,
at me.
you know, the lying, all of that type of stuff. I mean, he painted himself into a corner. Now, of course, just like Buster says, and I agree with him, we still, lots of people have questions. For me, it's almost like, I want to know exactly how it went down. I want to know, what were they talking about beforehand? Because for me personally, what I think everything was going normal. I at one point thought that they had gotten into an argument, and maybe they could have, but I don't think that. I think that everything was going somewhat normal.
Which
and
one
there
did
was
you
a
just
split
finish?
decision at some point that day. I think
Tara,
at some point
which
that day,
Manning?
Alec decided to do this. Whether it was coming home, whatever, but I think it went down that day in his mind that this is what's going to happen. And he might not have even known, like, exactly what was going to happen, but when he started getting everyone over there.
Okay, so
I
now
think
we're
that
going
those
to
decisions were made
activate
at
the
that
nails.
I didn't say
And for
anything to
anybody
my
who is
mother. I
not
walked inside
familiar
and I
with
saw him,
the
and it
dipping
was
process,
utter silence.
the
It was a big
activator
embrace. He
is what you
immediately
put
broke out
on
crying.
after you're
I
done
started
applying your
crying,
powder, and
that
it's
was what that
what's
was.
going to
I mean, it's
harden the
difficult to
dip
relive these,
and make it ready for
these
filing.
tough circumstances.
Okay, now this part here, this is one of the moments I spoke up earlier where I think we see a glimpse into the hurt for Buster, because it looks to me like he's getting that lump in his throat, and he does this number here where he's like, almost like if you're trying to avoid your face doing the thing that it does when you get ready to cry or you get emotional and you start getting that sense, like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I got that from him here. You know, and he's like reliving this. He's looking like he's reliving this moment of walking in to the house, you know.
Hopefully this one turns out better than last year's poison apple mayonnaise.
Not to go to the kennels, which thank God.
Prival, yeah. Oh, okay, Michelle. I was just checking. I thought you were mad at me, so you left. That's all.
And again, at this point, he's
what kind of doggy?
That, you know, a dad killed Mama, you know, Paul, right? I mean, who would?
It's a
at that
glitter.
point? None
Red
of these
glitter.
secrets have been coming out up until now. And again, many people say, like we saw in court, but for Alec, this kind of worked because they were like, you know, we
Can't
quit
tell if I
questioning
got
him
it
about
out.
the money because his wife and son were just murdered. Like
White
that was the last thing on our
spot
mind, and it bought us more
I'm
time.
gonna put some more
So,
activator and see.
There's that. Let's keep going.
There was a lot of discussion about the guns being everywhere.
Oh, I think I got it
A lot
out.
of people
Nope, it's
across
still
the
there.
country watch that. They think that's unusual.
Yeah, no. Well, I can understand how someone can perceive it as unusual.
All right, let's go shoot this.
We obviously grew up with a
It's like
love for the
in the
outdoors, love
clear.
for hunting,
I'm making it worse. I just gotta leave it, I guess. And
and I think everybody's seen the video of the gun room with the big gun cabinet where everything is.
And they're loaded and ready to go.
then there's a white spot on
unloading
it.
would always be the key. You know, our father from a very early age taught us gun safety and to not really just be leaving a bunch of loaded weapons around. But sure, absolutely, there are times
Oh,
when
that's
you
good.
forget about it and they stay loaded and you forget to unload them.
Oh, we were in mid 70s. Oh, that sounds
This part
perfect
got
weather.
interesting. We just talking about guns and whatnot, and at the very end, he's like, "Well, there's some times where you forget to unload them, and yeah, there's guns around or whatever."
What's
Now, this is like a
TMNT?
hunting lodge, right? Of course, there's going to be guns there. That doesn't even make anything.
So you're gonna go swimming? Where you guys go to go swimming?
To do whatever, but it is what it is. But remember, that came down. There's so many questions on the firearms in this case, right? And all of that, and the questionable, like, well, what's your gun safety practices and that type of thing. You know, but one thing that I thought that was, you know, interesting here is this is a sticky question, I feel like, for him, because he's kind of having to admit, well, we might have been doing that. There's a little bit of carelessness that I also feel like in one of the clips where he talks about the missing gun. and
Every
whatnot,
time
and how,
anyone cleaning,
Buster,
the cleanup song
we'll
from
hear
the
it,
Blues
but
Clues
how
always
he
comes
navigates
to
this,
my
again,
head.
very political, very
Does anybody
you know, type
remember the
thing.
Blues
My
Clues
interpretation of it was they
show
had
on
this huge piece of
Nickelodeon?
property, this house, they grew up around guns, they were
Beta.
comfortable around them, they were going to do what they wanted to do, right? Like, yeah, we might leave it unloaded.
Oh, here's the tray. Now that I'm done
Release
dipping.
on, Buster. And so that's just how it was, you know, and that's just how they were.
Oh, wow.
Right, wrong, or
I put it in my
There was a
drawer,
lot of
that's
discussion,
why.
obviously, about the
I couldn't
300
find
blackout.
rifles?
We both got one for Christmas in 2016, I believe. So Paul's got this.
Oh,
They
Teenage
went to a
Mutant
party.
Ninja
It was left in
Turtles.
a pickup truck, and then when they left the party, the gun was gone, and then
Oh, that's
was never seen
awesome.
again.
His best
And he
friend
got
got
another one.
hired.
Apparently.
Awesome.
So I wasn't really aware of that either.
Oh,
But
so you live in
after
like a housing
everything that's been said and
association
heard, then,
type thing?
yeah, it certainly seems like there was another one purchased.
Now this also is just kind
Do
of
you
going
get
into
Do you get subsidized
the
housing?
whole thing. Buster
I've
seems
been
a
on
little
a
bit more
list
like
for
the father
forever
series.
in Rhode
Paul is a
Island.
little bit more of the wild child, that type thing. Oh, he had this gun and it got stolen out of a truck, and he seemed to always be kind of getting in these little situations like this. But then to hear Buster be like, well, that's news to me. I guess they got another one. Apparently, that's the case. I thought that was an interesting.
Oh,
detail.
really?
Remember,
Video
during the
games?
trial, this was such a big part of it.
That's
Like,
awesome.
the gun and what would have happened and how did that go down if this is what was used and the whole 9 yards, right? It was just such a huge thing with the gun. And again, some of these questions, I almost want to hear him answer these same
I'm gonna
questions.
start
in 10 years
filing.
to hear what he has to say, where his father's case is rested.
You know your
at,
nails
all
are
the
ready to be
cases, right? Then
filed
we get
when
different answers.
2
He would have
minutes
these,
has passed,
perspective
or
on some of this.
when you tap your nails,
If
you
you
hear a
believe your dad's
clicking sound.
innocent, your mom and your brother's killer is
If
out
you
there.
start filing
That's what I
and
believe.
When
you
get
see
someone else to do it.
No.
chunks or pieces of dip
I don't
powder
think
coming
that he
off,
could be
you haven't
affiliated
waited long
with
enough, and
endangering
stop what you're
my mother
doing
brother.
and
I
just
mean,
wait
that's-
another minute or so.
I mean, we've been here for a while now, and that's been my stance.
So, are you fearful for your life if you believe the killer is still out there?
Absolutely. I think that I've set myself up to be safe, but yes, when I go to bed at night, I have a fear that there is somebody else still out there.
Buster saying he's scared there's somebody else still out there.
First of all, so he still thinks there's somebody else out there. Secondly, the part where he was like, what she
That the
said,
killer's out
"You're gonna
there.
get somebody else to do it." No, Dad wouldn't basically put anyone in danger with that. Well, immediately I'm thinking your dad allegedly was highly involved in drug usage, purchase. It was comfortable enough with the dude to get him to come shoot him on the side of the road, right? I don't know if your dad would be that concerned about that kind of safety, right? Because there's other
I had to
things he's
file
doing.
into this now quite a
Ripping
bit
everyone
to
off
get
his
the
house,
dip
right?
powder of my
You know,
previous
with the-
manning
with the
off.
idea hanging
It was a
over his
glitter
head,
now.
I could go to prison, but maybe he never thought about
Trying
that.
to make
'cause he
sure
was too,
everything
above the law.
looks
But
alright.
all of his actions show a very different type of person that is not concerned with how his actions will affect his family. So I kind of disagree with Buster on that. But I also understand that number one, don't know him, not in the situation. Number two, that's
Okay, now I
his
need
son. You're
a
gonna
file
have a
that's
certain
gonna get this
viewpoint on your own parent. And
dark
this is
red
still very
dip off my
fresh,
skin.
right? So you're going to have a certain viewpoint of that's just your dad in this particular situation. There was no tumultuous stuff growing up. It sounds like to make him think that dad's an evil person.
That was
or,
an
what
easy
I mean?
nail to
It just
file.
doesn't sound like that
I
was
think
there.
they're all going to be
Questionable
easy to
stuff,
file.
yes. But capable of this, no. And so for Buster, I get it. It's like that's his dad. He's gonna look at him in a certain light and probably processing all this behind the scenes and also trying to fan down the fire, right?
So I like
He
to
doesn't
file
wanna
around my
breathe any
cuticle
more air into it
area.
because my God, look at
And I'll
how
come down the
big it has
side,
become already.
Your dad had told you that he didn't go down to the kennel that night.
That's right. He told everybody that.
So when you discovered that he had lied about that, what'd you think?
I thought it was very odd. I was confused. I
I
didn't know
thought it was
why
very
he would
odd
lie
that
about
he
such a thing.
lied.
Why do you think he did?
Huh.
I don't know. I'd still
Ah.
like to understand.
So they said, why do you think you lied
why
about it?
that
And then
was,
Buster said,
you know,
I don't
needed to
know.
be lied about.
Now, if this answer is
Well,
true,
obviously, that's
don't
why
we
he
all-
lied,
this is one
because
of
he
those
was
that I'm like,
there.
really, that's the answer we're going to get. We've been waiting this whole time, but I'm thankful that he got out there and did this. A very political answer. I don't know. I'm waiting to find that out too. You hear some of these jailhouse calls that come through with him and his dad on the phone. It's very cool and. I almost get the vibe from Buster a lot of times, and I'm like, it just sounds like he's over this. Like, not like he's like, oh, screw you, dad, but almost like
Get
this
this
is just,
smooth
because his dad calls
underneath.
weird stuff, right? And it's just like, okay, yep, dad, great. Okay, well, we're doing this, and okay, well, what do you want me to do? And kind of still picking up the pieces and helping his dad along with this. It has to be incredibly stressful, right? But like this right here, it's like, we all want to know. Like, why would you lie about that? Why would you lie about that? I mean, it's part of the reason why he had to, is the reason he had to get on the stand, and it's a huge reason why he was convicted.
Your mom and Paul were very concerned about your dad's drug use. Did Paul mention that to you?
Yeah, so there were
those are
times when it
good.
was to me, it would
File
be
the
a
black
little
now.
bit of a scenario of, maybe they discovered like pills or found pills, but never in my wildest imagination could I think like, oh man, this guy's battling a 20-year opiate addiction where he's taking, however many.
So you have a pool though to use at your apartment or your house where you live.
Paul and his mother.
Most houses, a lot of houses in California have pools. I know in Florida too they do.
I think also that could be at the center of what went down on that day. Maybe something took place, maybe those conversations were going and it facilitated this, you know what, they're driving me crazy. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Also, the whole thing of what really happened to Gloria, did she find something? Was she getting ready to confront, someone, something, whatever? Because when evidence was coming out, people were discussing that finding pretty big bags of pills. I don't dispute that his dad clearly had a drug problem with these. I question if it was as severe as Alec made it out to be. Something seems very, very off. Something seems very off. The amount of usage that he said he was doing and for how long, and this is why it's all this money, right? It almost seems like better to take the L on that than for this over here, kind of a thing. But whatever that is,
Okay,
I don't know.
good.
It's just me,
It's gonna be a really easy, manicure to shape and buff. Then we'll chrome glass now. We'll top coat. We'll be done.
It made me feel horrible.
Last year I did this
What made me
Manny
feel
matte.
worse was what he was actually trying to do. And to
I'm gonna do
understand
it
that he
shiny
thought
this
that was
year.
going to be
Tara,
some
feel
kind of
free to
benefit, given
do
all the
whatever
things that
finish
I'd
you
gone
want
through prior,
on it.
Disappointed me.
I just don't. I just want it to
told
be
him, he was like,
different.
you should know that this is not the way to handle it. This is not what I needed. I needed you here, not attempt
Matte
some kind of
nails are
suicide
great
stuff.
for fall.
And this is one thing where I'm sitting here listening to Buster. He's so poised about discussing this, right? Like, and here's this, and I needed you here and that. And in comparison with his father's erratic, desperate demeanor that we saw at times in the stand and conversation, all that, Buster seems so much more, almost like Buster is the parent in this situation now, right? Clearly became that. And clearly is now, is what I mean by that. So I thought it was interesting that Buster articulated things so well during this. There's almost a sense of like talking about yourself in third person, but he's not doing that, right? But almost like that detachment about it. Like, stand here. It was horrible. It felt this way, but being very about it, and that kind of thing. He might just be that kind of guy, right? I mean, that's a lot of this. I imagine is what's going on. He's just that type dude of, you don't show that type of stuff. So this is probably very uncomfortable, like as it is for a lot.
So it's our nephew James's birthday party this weekend. I think he's
So as you're
turning
listening to
9.
him talk about these,
Yeah,
these
9 he
timelines
is.
and break it all down.
We just
you
saw him
second-guess
when we
your
went
belief
to
that it
Cape
was somebody
Cod.
from the outside.
But depending
I still
on
stand
how
with my
Dominic
opinion.
is
I
doing and myself,
think it still was
I
somebody
might not
from
be
the
able to
outside.
go.
And
It's
there's
on
no evidence
Sunday.
as to who these people might be.
I think it's on Sunday.
Not as that have been found yet.
I totally did not get a confident feeling off of his answer with us. And notice what she
Ouch.
said, as they're going through this timeline, he said, I still stand by. Because I interpreted it to be like, well, during the trial when this was coming out, I expected a past tense answer, and not like what I used to think, but he kind of looks down like I said, and he looks away. Well, I still stand by, and that's one of the things where I'm like, even if he was questioning this, because you would have to, right? You would have to sit there and at one point say, I have these two things here. If Dad, let's go down the road that Dad didn't. Okay, well, A, B, C. Let's go down the road if he didn't do it. You would have to question that as just a possibility, right? Because it's all out there. Like, you have to go down like this, the timeline, the questions, this, that, and the other. But for him, he just almost seems to withdraw a little bit in the way that he said, I still stand by this. And was there evidence? Well, not as of yet.
So I do have a little bit of dip on my skin, but like staining wise, look.
I don't
Nothing.
like to do that thing in front of a camera. I don't
That's
think anybody
really
would.
good.
But yeah, I mean, you are
Really
going through a
good.
tremendous emotional time.
And with
It's
the
an
red too,
absolutely
same thing, no
excruciatingly
staining.
difficult experience.
When she's asking him, did you cry? And he says, I don't like to do that
Wow.
thing in front of a camera.
That's
This is what I'm
impressive.
talking about where he first of all describes that crying, whatever feelings, that thing in front of a camera. Like, I just think he's very uncomfortable with with feelings in general. Not even getting into the questions that are being asked. You know, do you think your dad wiped out your family? Right? I mean, can you imagine having to answer that? I mean, it would be very uncomfortable, especially, you know, we haven't gone through appeals and all this kind of stuff yet. So I give
I'm gonna
him
buff
that.
the
I completely
nails.
get that.
They didn't find a murder weapon. They didn't find any bloody clothing. There were no witnesses.
I'm using the
or digital
Crival
evidence.
buffer. Well,
You think it was a crappy motive?
sponge
And
file
yet,
here.
12 jurors
180 grit
all
sponge
agreed
file.
that your dad killed your mom and Paul.
That's right.
These are awesome files, guys. I know a lot of you agree with me.
Why?
I was there for 6 weeks studying it, and I
Well,
think
hold
it
it
was
upside down.
a tilted table from the beginning. And I think, unfortunately,
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of the
But you guys can use it?
felt that way.
That's
prior to
awesome.
When they had to deliberate, it was predetermined in their minds prior to when they ever heard any shred of evidence that was given in that room.
Why would the jurors be inclined to go against your dad?
Because of everything they had the ability to read prior to the trial. I think that people get overwhelmed, and I think that they believe everything that they read, and I think it took advantage of a jury pool in a very small town, in a very small
Man,
town.
Now,
almost
one thing that
done.
is noticed when he's like, you know, crappy motive, like he still has some anger about this. Like you can tell it's like right under there. Now, again, I will say the things that she brought up in the beginning, like no bloody clothes, no witnesses, no this. I mean, this is the
Just
questions that I
follow
would
me,
answer,
too.
right? Because even though I stand by where I'm like, hey, yeah, I think Alec did it. I don't
Okay.
think the motive is crappy
Going
because
to
I
clean
really
them
think that that's what
with
went on. I think he got
alcohol.
desperate. At the end of
Actually, no, I could use my
desperation, he
ergo
took
file.
life.
Then I'll
And
clean them
a
with
few weeks
alcohol.
later, in another moment of desperation, he
They
had
look
to make
good
him
though.
take his
They
own
really
life,
don't
right? It
seem
just
to
doesn't
need it,
happen.
but
And so, but I too
it's not
question
gonna make
how
them
did he
look
pull
any
those
worse.
things off. When you get into, was there someone else involved? Was there this? Was there that? You know, I too have those questions, and hopefully we'll get answers to those one day.
For the sentencing, Judge Newman spoke and he said, I'm sure Maggie and Paul visit you every night when you're trying to go to sleep. And your dad said every day and every night. Did you think the judge was going too far?
Yeah, I think that's just another one of his clever little lines to suggest that he agrees with the guilty verdict. I think he was very straightforward about that, and I think it was just a kind of a cruel analogy to be throwing out amongst just an overly public trial.
Now, I'll give Buster this. I think the judge agrees with it too, right? I think the judge probably thought he was guilty as well. He saw all the evidence just like the other jurors did. I think too.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Oh, the jury was tainted.
That's awesome.
And the judge was tainted. I don't think that's
Does
really
he
fair.
does
but
he like
also,
swimming?
it's not like
Okay.
that, right, I get it.
I bet
You're
he
gonna be
loves
upset
it.
Your dad was just convicted of taking the life of your mother.
Or
your
like the
brother,
water
and you don't
anyway.
believe that he did it, so of course you're going to have feelings about that, right? Totally understandable. But yeah, I mean, I think that the judge, I do too. I think the judge thought he did it. You know, the speech that he gave.
Yeah,
his
we're
words
supposed to get
were
like
just
torrential
that, like, I'm sure they
downpours.
do, 'cause he
And
recognized
our
that
street
there's a
is
level
one
of
of the
that guilt.
streets that
I think
does
too. I
flood
think they probably haunt him.
because we're like
Yeah,
kind of
how
at the
could
bottom
they
of the
not?
hill.
How will you lay your head down at
So
nighttime
it's a
and
definite
not have those
possibility
haunting
of
images in
flooding.
there?
I think it was
All
somebody
right.
that wanted to hurt
Clean
my
these
brother.
babies up. I'll show you
It was
guys what
very
they look
obvious that's
like,
where
and
my
then we're
mind
gonna
was then,
crown.
and it still is.
Interesting, it says at least that's where my mind was then, and it still is. When I first heard this go down, I 100% know that's what it was too, right? And that's why.
Besides the
feels so
glitter on my
perfect.
ring finger,
You know, that could be that.
I
but
think
then
they
as
look
we
really
got more
good. I'm
evidence, more evidence, it just started
I'm
to
really
make
happy
this
with
full
how
of
they look.
thing, where I was like, I'm not thinking someone was out.
I think the ombre
right?
blend
And
is
again, if that was
pretty
his
decent.
blood,
Not
without
perfect,
being a
but
live
it's
all
pretty
those would
decent.
be to make it look like he did
And
something
stilettos look so
bad.
badass on a manny like this.
Let's go on to the next clip.
His sister said someone approached her and
I'm
said
gonna
that
use
he
the
was
Emily
romantically involved.
New HEMA-free, no white top coat,
His
right?
brother says that someone approached him and said that
And
he were with a
this
group
is
of young men
the
who
black
beat him with a baseball bat.
mirror chrome pigment.
What do you say to that? To both of
So
them?
it's not going to be
Absolutely
holographic or
baseless
anything
rumors,
like that.
unequivocally
A lot of
denied
times black mirror
anything
chromes
that you
just
read
kind of
off
look
that piece of
shiny
paper.
black.
I did not have any personal
So it's a
intimate
subtle look,
relations with
but that's
Stephen,
totally
and
cool.
that obviously cannot be proven because it is baseless.
I
never
just wanna
had
show it
anything
off.
to do with his murder. I never had anything to do with him on a physical level of any regard.
Where were you the night that
I do not
Stephen Smith
know
was
how
killed?
long I
Nice Stephen
cure
was killed.
for. I
I was
remember
at
last
our
time,
Stepping
30
Stones
seconds
with
was
your
not
family?
long enough,
With
and I ended
my
up having to
mother.
cure for.
Given everything
40
you're going through,
in my
what did you feel
family.
like
So
when you
weird.
heard that
I'm just gonna
he
go
was
for
surfacing
30 and
again?
we'll see
Well,
what
it's a lot like
happens.
this, and you know, I don't want to be rude here, but have you ever been accused of murdering somebody?
Mixed
Let me tell you,
feelings
this
about
is
the
very,
water.
very,
Does he
very,
get scared
very-
at first, or is it the
thing to
cold
place on somebody
that
with
freaks him
absolutely
out?
no fact? I mean, it has harmed my reputation. I mean, people perceive me as a murderer.
Ooh, now this is the big whammy here that we've been waiting for, right? Okay, a couple of things. First of all, again, very poised. When she was asking the questions, he was doing this.
All right, let's see if this is gonna work.
Like he was waiting, right? Like he was like, don't show any emotion.
Oh, yes,
don't
it
show
is.
anything, even kill. Now, let me say this before we get into it. I have no opinion at this point if I think Buster has something to do with Stephen Smith's murder.
It's
Someone
kind of
took
mad.
the life of Stephen Smith. Okay, period. Someone killed this boy. Stephen Smith needs justice.
But I
Wherever
do
that justice
think
leads is what needs
once
to happen.
we
If it's to Buster, so be it. If it's to this other group of guys that they're
get
talking
it.
to, which is where my mind is now actually going. This ain't the video for it. Again, I got the playlist. Okay?
Oh,
but there's
coded,
another group
top
of
coded
dudes
and
that
stuff.
there's
I
some
think
attention
we'll be
brought
good.
to. Now, whether Buster was part of that, I don't know, right?
Get
But
those
that's
free
where my mind
edges,
goes
right?
to. I do not think it was a hit and run. I do think Stephen encountered someone or a group of people that evening, and there was some type of an ill event, and his body was left there purposely like that. That's what I think happened. But again, there's not been enough evidence other than town
Doesn't look
rumors
very
that Buster
smooth,
did this
and
or
I'm
had something to do
thinking
with it. Having said that, I do think it's interesting
that when I top code it, you're just gonna magnify that, right? Let me say.
Can't say anything, right? But does that mean that I think
Well,
he
we
did it
base
now?
coat then
Yeah,
top
I would
coat. Well, I just want to see what it
probably
looks like with
characterize
top
that. I don't
coat.
think he had anything to
I'm
do
gonna
with
wipe
it,
this top
but that's
coat
just
off.
me. Again, wherever the evidence goes.
If it
It's
doesn't
something
look right.
Hands down, we got videotape from a
Yeah,
little
you can
satellite
see
camera. We saw Buster
Fox.
there. Okay, not surprising. Same
All
thing
right.
goes down. Buster wasn't there.
We got some
Dudes did it with no
alcohol.
connection to Buster. Okay, not surprising. That's where I'm at with it. So when Buster's talking about this, and he's like, and again, wasn't it giving like this energy of like Bill Clinton? I did not have relations.
So it has to. I mean, it feels.
This is that
It has to be the top coat. You know what I mean?
Vibe he gives off, right? Like to me, he was
Give me a
very
cosmic top
control of
coat.
everything.
I'm gonna
his
throw this
face and
on and
everything
see what
during that.
happens.
On that same note, where he's like, "Have you been accused of murder?" I mean, again, if this is major, right? The Buster did it, and they said this because of that. Whatever. I mean, it's true. Right, wrong, or indifferent, or whether you like it or not, it's true. So until there's truly factual, bam, we've got it. We get time to it. It's just up in the air about it. But that being said, we want to see justice for Stephen because someone has gotten away with a brutal murder of this young man, right? Bless his mother's heart, bless his sister, all his friends, people who love this boy. They are fighting for that. And in the documentary, they do say whether it's an open investigation, they're trying to get to it, and I think it will be solved, but I think
Should I try?
Right, I think it'll
like
take some
15
time.
or 20
And
seconds?
whatever justice points towards
I think
is
the
where we'll
cosmic
go
was
with
like
it, right?
40
It
seconds, but I
definitely
could be
needs to
totally
happen.
wrong.
Now let's continue.
It feels like
That's
anybody that
15
maintains the last
seconds.
name Murdoch now has some
Let's see.
horrible stain on their integrity because there's obviously a perception, people think like, oh, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree.
Do you ever worry, am I like dad?
No, I do not worry because I am not a thief. I am not a liar. I'm not a manipulator. In those regards, I am nothing like him. But in other regards, I believe that I do hold some of his more admirable traits, which
he doesn't have any of his dad's traits that are bad, but he holds his more
I'm
admirable
not a thief,
traits.
I'm not a liar, I'm not a manipulator. To hear him admit to those things about his father, I was like, okay, interesting, because I guess my big thing watching this is I wanted to see what thought processes when he lays his head down at nighttime. What are the things he's thinking about?
Guys,
you know what I'm saying? And so to hear him say that, at least to admit
I'm
to
gonna
him,
have to
yes,
file
your father
or
is a liar,
buff it
he's told
again or
everybody he did these
something.
things. Now, but
Or at least
also
take the
hear
top
all this
coat
other
off and
being
put just the
heavier.
cosmic
Dad
one
might have
on.
done this, but it was also this. We often see this with the children of, especially serial killers, people like this, where they're like, well, Dad was the, this is my dad. He was this.
See?
He was the apple of my eye during this time. I didn't know he was out murdering women every
Well,
night. And I'm not saying
like,
this is what
or
Buster's
street.
dad did, but I'm using that as an example. And so when I
The
hear him
nail
talk
itself
about
is
these
smooth.
admirable traits, because yes, you hear everyone talking, they're like, Alec was an amazing attorney. He could go in there. He was a master at it, right?
I mean,
He
this
obviously
feels.
had other traits.
No,
You can
I
be
can
two
feel
things
like a
at once.
little
You can be
lost.
charming, but you can also be Ted Bundy, right? You can be a great lawyer and this and that, but you can also be ripping out the entire town. I mean, it's just, it kind of is what it is. And so to hear him hold those two thoughts, I just found that interesting. So let's go on.
All right, so let's talk about Buster 2024, 2025, and beyond.
Mhm.
What are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future are to live a very, very happy life with happy people around me and hopefully get to a place where I can go out and enjoy myself without having to be perceived as a character in this Murdoch story.
Thank you.
Do it over here so nothing goes in nothing.
I thought that was very interesting to be surrounded by happy
Chrome
people,
powder.
you know, to kind of be able to move on and rebuild life. Because again, he's almost in like this limbo. He's right. He is a character in this story, right? So I can't imagine. I mean, you see some of the newspaper things, Buster seen out shopping, you know, and it's like, okay, I mean, of course he is. He has to go to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? And I think that unfortunately for him, because of number one, the name, he talked about this. I mean, this name is kind of smeared at this point, and so he's going to have that going on. Also, that there's a lot of people that think they have hands down, especially locally, where people are more in tune with
Alright, I
all
think
the
I got all the
nuances
top
of
coat
what it's under
off.
locally, that he had something to do with Steven, you know, and whatnot. And again, time will
Almost
tell
all
with
of it.
that. But then in general,
Alright.
I mean, this is like an international cage, right? Everybody's watching it. And so everyone's kind of eyes on him. And so that's why I think this went over so huge, is him coming and finally speaking out. Now, here's some of my
All
final
right.
thoughts on that. Like I said, overall, I felt like this was very poised, very media trained, very
Dust all
generic
over
political
me.
answers given throughout. I do not think we got a true glimpse into anything other than he does
Yeah,
not
you
his
take
dad did it.
floaties.
We
Yeah.
go based on what he says. Somebody else from the outside did this. Dad didn't do it.
Alright, let's try this
Dad's a
again.
bad person in ways A, B, and C, but not over here. You know, and that's his stance. And he fears for his safety because he still thinks that somebody else is out there
We'll
trying to
use
get
the
him. He kind
cosmic
of got slippery with some of the questions, and who knows what was cut out that we never, you know, that hit the cutting room floor we never saw. So this did not like dig its heels in and give me any sense of closure. It didn't give me like, oh wow, we really got there with Buster. I think we could hear him speak in 5 to 10 years and it could be completely different than this. He could be like, you know what, actually I have come to the conclusion that maybe Dad did it, but I don't think he would ever say that. Even if he thought that. I do think that behind closed doors, Buster questions these things, but he knows he has to keep up a certain front, because imagine the storm fire that this would create if he said that he thought his dad did this, not just legally, but publicly as well. It would be huge. He probably wants to move on with his life. His mother and brother are dead, but according to, you know, the law, at the hands of his father. Whether he agrees with that or not is whatever. You know, the law has swung its gavel and said, your dad did this. He has been convicted. And so he has this new life of having to deal with his father behind bars the rest of his life while still going on and doing his own life.
Like a little
with all
thing in
the
here, I
implications of this. So time will tell. Now, again, I'm sure we'll continue to see him in the tabloids and the papers and whatnot, you know, so long as there's an unsolved case with Stephen and so long as his father is doing stuff
there is
behind bars,
something.
he's going to be a topic of conversation. So that being said, you know, do I think you need to rush out and rent this? If you're interested in this case, absolutely you need to watch it. Because again, I didn't put all the clips in here, right? This is just some of them that you're seeing. And then I didn't put any of the
Okay.
stuff in there about the other people. I mean, there's lots of other stuff they put in there. Was there any groundbreaking information? No. But again, it's a case that interests me. It's not
All right,
local, but
fingers
local
crossed
ish.
this time
And
it
so for that
works.
reason, I do find it
15
interesting to keep up with
seconds.
it. And now on that note, if you are watching, thank you. I know this was a long video, so I do appreciate if you're still watching. Ross, go ask these
Alright, he's
so post down
done.
in the comment section
video's
for them
over.
so that he can go and lay out.
What else we got?
This is coming. Adults.
Ooh, here's the YouTube arrested for child abuse. 8 passengers was the YouTube channel name. Did you guys see this thing? They're Mormons. And she got charged with cruelty to children, like
Ruby Frank was a
withholding
YouTube star,
food
a mom who
for
put herself,
disobedience
her
and stuff.
family, and her parenting techniques on the internet for the world to see on her 8 Passengers channel. And millions watched. She gained many fans, but as her popularity grew, so did her number of critics who did not agree with her parenting skills. Then Her YouTube
Right.
channel disappeared.
I love how you
and
can
didn't
use just a
promise to
tiny
let
bit
her
of chrome
family
pigment
know.
and it
The
just goes
status of
so
her
far.
marriage came into question, and her children started growing up into adulthood. Then things got drastically real for Ruby.
Okay.
She was arrested on child abuse charges. Tonight, we take a look at the
This
rise
looks
and
better.
fall of Ruby Frank. Bring in our
Almost
experts
more
to
like
take a
silver
look
than
at her parenting
black.
techniques and examine the impact on the children of growing up publicly.
Maybe it'll look different
As
once
we
we put it.
investigate the case against 8-passenger star Ruby Frank.
Okay. I do have some up around here.
On Closing Arguments. Great to have you with us.
Use one of these. I'm gonna spray it.
This hour is going to be fascinating because this is a world that exists that I don't know if everyone knows exists. And what I'm talking about is the world of these YouTube families, and that's who 8-passengers were. It was a YouTube family. It was a mom and a dad. Started out with some cell phone cameras, recording themselves.
All right, that looks
living
good.
life, and then posting it online.
So I'm just gonna top coat this. This is a 2-in-1, so I don't need to put gel base underneath.
As things grew and developed, things changed. Now this whole world of YouTube families, like anything else, when it first starts out, the wholesome families can become very popular, right? But then as YouTube continues and this whole genre continues, the general public might get a little bored with, normal things happening to normal families. And the things that start to gain attention and interest are things that are off the
Pretty cool.
beaten path a little bit. A little more extreme. And I think that's what happened here. Ruby Frank and her family. And the way these videos evolve.
Yeah, her business partner.
Once you have that taste.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that part about the 10-year-old.
I've gotten that taste doing shows on television through the years. And the audience is responding to this.
It's unbelievable how some people, they just go under the radar for so long with DCF, you know what I mean? They'll be involved even too, and still hear bad stuff happening.
I think it was a lot about her controversial parenting.
All right, I'm gonna reactivate and top coat the poison apple now, since the chrome one is
I
done.
don't think she was putting on an act. Like, this was real reality more than like a reality show, which is, as we've learned through the years, totally scripted.
Super cute Manny, I
So
love
when
it.
when you're watching reality, it's just like, bad actors doing improv, right? But this was much more real. And
Okay.
her techniques, some people said, yeah, this is good. This works.
So you can see now, like compared to the black at my tips, this looks lighter, the color, but I can see why it's called black chrome. Although personally, I would classify it more as like a silvery gray. I have some black chromes like that I've done over black, so this is what I was expecting. Let me find one.
This is how I treat them. This is how
Like
I
this.
discipline them, etc.
That's what I was expecting.
That she's putting out there. There were some investigations.
But
Nothing resulted.
there's nothing wrong with it, you know what I mean?
But then things got really bad.
And depending on where you get things from, colors are going to vary.
Like the YouTube channel disappeared. And then all of a
And
sudden,
I actually
there's
like this
family
one
drama
more
taking
because,
place.
like that black mirror
It
chrome
seems
pigment
that
that I just showed you, it looks like just black. It doesn't look
Separate,
like anything
started living
special.
separately. The YouTube channel.
So, but that
stopped,
does.
but she's continuing with her parenting
All right, I'm
techniques.
gonna wipe off
She got a
and
business
then top
partner who's doing like podcasting, and then things took another turn, right? So let's remember what we're talking about. Like a mom, what do they call them? Mom-fluencers, right? So a mom who's like on social media, posting videos, giving tips about how she does.
That's
things,
horrible.
And getting sponsors.
Yeah,
making
family
money.
bloggers,
Real
yeah.
money here. This isn't chump change.
Yeah, because you're putting out all this stuff, embarrassing things about your kids, and they don't have a say in it.
For every video you
right?
You're making stay at home. This is my full-time job.
Who knows what kind of relationship she's having with her manager? Because she kicked out her husband, you know.
Right, so this is real. This is the real deal. But then it took a turn, right? So the YouTube channel's gone. All that revenue's gone. She's doing the podcast, and then she gets arrested.
Vinnie Politan on Court TV did a thing on her, so that's what I'm watching.
Abuse. It was shocking on one hand, but not so shocking on another hand because people who were familiar with her. I didn't know her before this story broke because I'm not watching.
Oh yeah, this is already ready. I can tell it's looking textured.
And some of them were disappointed, some were shocked, and some were like, "Oh, it's about time." So tonight we're going to focus on what was going on here and look at her parenting techniques, what it's like for the kids to grow up as the subjects on YouTube, talking about all the things that they were talking about. But first, Scripps News Salt Lake City has the background on what happened to them.
Without bail and behind bars sits a woman who once freely roamed around her home, filming her family in front of up to 2.3 million subscribers. Ruby Frank, known as a momfluencer, documented the life of her husband and 6 children in southern Utah in her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, which was taken down earlier this year. Come Wednesday, she resurfaced in the public eye when one of her children escaped through a window and knocked on a neighbor's door, requesting food and water. I got a hold of the police statement, which I'm holding right here. It says when the child arrived at the neighbor's home, the child had duct tape around his wrists and ankles. The neighbor immediately called police.
I'm not sure about this chrome nail in the middle, you guys.
And was so malnourished, they immediately transported him to the hospital.
I think it would look better if it was.
Child in the same home. That home belonging to Frank's
I guess we'll leave it as it is.
Who had a parent counseling service
Red glitter in
She was
there.
arrested as well.
90% of the time when a child is hurt, it's by someone that they know.
Let me put the light up.
Director of Prevent Child Abuse Utah, Lorianne Thorpe, says it's a tough reality to realize that abusers are often relatives or someone close
What do you guys
to
think?
family. Frank's oldest daughter, Sherry Frank, who is 20 years old, posted to her public Instagram today a photo of police with the caption, "Finally." She added another story saying, "Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers." And also
So we're just gonna give these another minute or so to dry.
Understand that children on average will
I'm really happy with how the ombre came out.
3 times before they get help or before they're believed. So it's really on us as adults who may be receiving this information to trust that a child is not making this up.
What do you think about the chrome nail, Brandis?
Taken into custody of Child and Family Services. In Salt Lake City, Lucy Nelson, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And some may argue that, this alleged abuse was in plain sight. On YouTube. So let's take a look at the family here and break down exactly
The
what
tip
was going on.
chrome.
8 Passengers was the name.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
They had on YouTube, the channel. That's because there's 2 parents and 6 children. So you got mom Ruby, dad Kevin, 2 sons. One is
I don't know if
15,
I want to
an
go
adult,
through all of
grown
it
up,
and
one is
change it.
12, and
I want to,
4
because I have
adults.
to do
There's
another
2
Manny
ones,
today
again, an
too.
adult, 16,
But I
14,
might.
and
We'll see.
So we've got 2 adults, so the 4 minors are the ones.
I might
that
just
belong
leave it.
to, child.
It doesn't look bad,
Care custody.
right?
Now, Ruby's sister Bonnie.
Perfect colors for this kind of Manny.
None of them could have seen this coming. She says they all did this as much as they could legally. She feels numb at this point, and the only concern is that her
The male neighbor. Oh, when he called about the little girl who ran over.
I don't think any of us
Oh,
have ever
so
seen this
sad.
coming. We all did as much as we could legally, and
Oh,
even
it's
though
their
we don't
sister
know,
talking.
I do feel a little bit numb at this point. Is that our nieces and nephews are safe, and they are.
Should they all tried to do something to help and couldn't get it.
Instagram. For the last 3 years, we've kept quiet on the subject of our sister, Ruby Frank, for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we've done everything we could to try to make sure the kids were safe.
They did everything they
We
could
were
to try and
still
make
right
sure the
about
kids were
moving forward with
safe.
regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, We will not be commenting on it further. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are safe now.
Ruby was
This is the
arrested,
number
which
one
needed to happen. Jody was
Sisters like
arrested,
the
which
sisters
needed
are
to
also
happen.
in
It's
the
part of
social
the
media
statement
game,
from our
talking about
sister.
content, posting, etc. This story is something else. We need some help now to work our way through the rest of this. Joining us tonight in Los Angeles, California, senior reporter from DailyMail.com, host of Daily Mail Crime on TikTok, and the victim advocate for Project Cold Case.
All right,
Becker.
we are
Kayla,
dry.
great to see you. For folks not familiar with this genre, this is extremely popular. There's these moms, particularly, who kind of put their families on
And I
social
dip with
media
me, fall
and,
for me,
yeah, come
cuticle
up with
oil,
tips and ideas and kind of show a little bit of what's happening with their own
super
family.
moisturizing.
It's wildly popular on both YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Pretty much every social media outlet
This
has
is the
this
good kind of
cadre
oil if you really want to like
and
lather in
you
it,
can
which I
find
like
every
to do.
type of mom and every type of parent. So if you find one that resonates with you or a group that resonates with you,
Are you
tend to
guys
go
like
and
me?
follow
Do you
them
have
and sort of
cuticle oils everywhere, like in your purse, on your nightstand, on your kitchen counter, like by the sink?
Parenting. Based on the
As
videos
I
that I've
do.
seen, it felt sadistic at times. It felt like a lot of bullying. And from very early on, these types, pretty much all momfluencers who put their children on, there is
This
a group
smells so
of
good.
critics who have a problem with the exploitation of these
Love it.
children being filmed without their consent and being profited off of without their consent. But the Ruby issue goes a step further because
I'm gonna use my
she was
snake ring
at times to her children. She would use very strict, very harsh techniques that were hard to watch. And to think that this is what was going on in front of the camera, I always wondered what was going on behind closed doors, because what you put out on social media is rarely ever what your real life is like. It's always a little
like my
bit better.
only
So
kind
it
of
scares me
Halloween
to think
ring.
of what could have been happening behind closed doors, which I think is what we're getting to see now.
Yeah, a little bit better, but would you agree with my assessment?
So here is the finished mani, the finished poisoned apple mani with one chrome nail. So these colors that we use are called Oxblood and Gothic. And then this is the Black Mirror Chrome Powder, and these will be releasing Sunday, I'm assuming at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can save with code Tara15.
And what people saw was a strict mom who would sometimes use
Oh, it was a boy who went to the neighbor?
basic necessities, punishing her one son by taking away his bed
Oh,
and making
wow.
him sleep on a beanbag for several months because he teased his brother.
Oh,
Punishing her daughter at 6 years old for forgetting to pack her own lunch at school, going hungry,
Yeah, I don't
refusing to go to school.
I'm
and
listening.
giving her lunch. She would be hungry
All right, I'm gonna
and
go
learn
do
the lesson that she
pictures
wouldn't
and have something to
forget
eat.
to
I'm
pack her lunch again. This
hungry.
child was 6 years old.
Hope you guys have a good afternoon. I hope you guys all have a great week. I'll be talking to you, Michelle. I'll be talking to you very soon. I love you all.
Now,
Take care, okay? Bye.
children, obviously, children grow, and children grow up. Children become young adults, and she has two of her children that are young adults, and her